It might be the most anticipated regular season meeting ever between the state and U women. The Jackrabbits have won 10 in a row and are tied for the Summit League lead. Their last loss, a 104-98 double overtime setback last month in Vermillion to USD. That was the first of 11 straight wins for the now 23rd ranked Coyotes, who ventured into Frost Arena for the virtual Summit League regular season championship game. More than 2,500 braving the blizzard conditions. It was pretty much all Coyotes in the first half. Chloe Lamb with a nice scoop. USD led by 11 at the break. Lamb had 19 points. And it's Kira Duffy inside with a reverse as the Coyotes built their lead up to 13. Much to the delight of Dawn Plitzowite's son, AJ, taking a break from Augustana and wearing that red. I'm sure Tom Billiter is going to want him to burn that pretty soon. Late in the quarter, the Jacks get something going. Tagging Larson, hooping the harm. SDSU down 59-52 after 3. Larson had 21 points and 11 boards. Fourth quarter, Madison Giebert, Trey Bien. This is the second of back-to-back threes with her brother Drew, the USF standout, cheering her on. Jacks within 2. After a timeout, it's Riley Cascio Jensen, and she's cash money on that 3 as SDSU takes their first lead since the first quarter. USD was down but not out. Madison McKeever, who had 11 points, 2 of her biggest ones right there, as USD pulls even at 69. They have the last shot with 22 seconds left. It's going to be the Sully Buttes alum Lamb for the win. It rolls in and out and back out again. Lamb actually had a second shot that almost went, but neither of them go, and we head to overtime. A minute to go in the extra session. USD is up by 1. It's Miller time. Macy Miller stepping up for the 3. She had a game-high 28 points. That put SDSU ahead for good as the Jackrabbits hang on to win 82-78. Another instant classic between the rivals.
It's really stressed out at half. We weren't working hard like we wanted to. They were outworking us. They were getting all the loose balls. They were making all the shots, and we just weren't our defensive self. And I thought that's what we were really stressed in the third and the fourth quarter.
Quite a weekend for SDSU basketball. A couple of tough first halves and really good second halves. I thought our team showed a lot of just resiliency, kind of hung in there.
Needing some extra time on the clock to really determine the end of the game is seems like a fitting end.
Well, extremely proud of how our young ladies came out on the road in a very tough environment and battled against a very good basketball team. And disappointed that we didn't come out on top in it, but I think certainly from this game we continue to learn and we continue to grow, and it's an important time of the year for us to do that.
SDSU women can lock up the regular season league title if they beat Western Illinois next week. As for the men's game yesterday, we saw some history.
Right hand dribble, free throw line, loops it out left to Mike Dahm on the baseline.
Wow, what a finish by Dahm, expressing himself.
6 seconds left. Dahm spins down the lane, puts one up off glass. Good!
51 points. That is the highest scoring game in all of men's Division I college basketball.
Telling Houston with the alley-oop to Mike Dahm, and the Jacks go to their 5th in the CAA tournament.
Top to Dahm, fake him a 3. He'll go in for a right-hand throwdown and the contact. What a finish by Dahm!
Mike Dahm became the 10th player in Division I college basketball history to reach 3,000 career points, and he couldn't have picked a better time or team to do it against. Dahm's 3,000th career point pushed SDSU over the top of arch rival USD in the final minute on their way to a 94-89 victory. When he redshirted 5 years ago, coaches wondered if Dahm would ever be able to play at the Division I level. Now Mike's the 10th all-time leading scorer in Division I college basketball history with 3,006 points, and he's far from done.
It's crazy. Like I said, I know. It's weird. It's not really comprehending in my mind yet. But at the same time, I literally have to give all the credit to my coaching staff, my family, and my teammates who have been along with me for this ride, the past 5 years.
To score 3,000 on the bucket that he did, it's a pretty good story. Game's on the line, you go to your go-to guy. It hadn't really been his night the way that he normally gets it going, and then he scores it that way. But, that's kind of how the Mike Dahm story's been. It's been a little bit of a fairy tale, and he steps up when he needs to.
On the Coyotes side, it's more the same, though they're certainly playing better with wins in 2 of their last 3 and had one of their better offensive games yesterday by shooting 43% from three-point range. It's still tough for USD to swallow their 11th loss by 7 points or less this year.
you know, we got 11 games that end up just like this. You know, they're close that we've lost. Won a few of them, lost a lot of them. So our guys, you know, they know we can play with anybody in the league.
But I think this team's just been growing all year, throughout the year. That's been a thing for us. Like, we don't want to get complacent. And so that was early in the year, and I think we were still kind of finding our identity and finding out who we are. So tonight, I think we made big steps in figuring that out.
G League today, Skyforce north of the border against Raptors 9:05. Raphael Putney gets things started off with a 3-point shot. He had a game-high 28 points, and then the highlight of the day for the Skyforce coming up a few minutes later in the second quarter. They miss here, but here comes Marcus Lee with the putback slam. He had 12 points. Would not be enough, though, for Sioux Falls as Mikhail McIntosh will drive and get 2 of his 24 and the Force lose 119-102. Finally, back to snowy Brookings for some college wrestling. SDSU hosting West Virginia shortly after the women's game ended. 141 pounds, Pier alum Eric Williams with reversal against Luke Martin for 2 big points that help him to a 7-4 victory. Jacks win things a few matches later, starting here. 174 pounds, SDSU's Samuel Groves slams James Wuchik back on the mat, and after a few seconds, he gets the pin at the 4:38 mark. In the very next match, at 184 pounds, SDSU's Zach Carlson folds Jackson Mumau over, and he gets the pin at 2:49. Back-to-back pinfall wins for SDSU were pretty much the difference as the Jacks conclude their dual season with a 22-19 victory. The Minnesota Wild won 2-1 in overtime over St. Louis, and if you're looking for Sioux Falls Stampede highlights at Sioux City, their game got postponed by all the bad weather. It'll be made up at a later date. We'll be back in 1 moment.